Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Yes, we're going to discuss today a couple of questions, particularly which, in depth by the way, which have been asked again and again. But before we get into that, let me just say where we are. We're at the bottom of Dongtown Beach, at the end of Dongtown Beach, just between Cozy Beach and the Jomtien Beach. And we're at the bottom of Soi 5, Soi 6. And the reason we're here is because this is the center for meeting everybody. This is where everyone comes in Pratamnak, just like Tree Town. And all the girls and all the guys all come here, and one of the reasons is because this is where all the food carts come. So it's a big central meeting point right in the middle of Pratamnak. So let me show you around the place, and the discussion today is about getting a good short-time price, particularly short-time price, and also about retirement costs. While we have a look around, and I'll show you, and you'll see with what you can see, like this for example, you'll see why I live in Pratamnak as opposed to other areas. So we'll have a look and we'll have a chat, and I'll show you all the food, and I'll show you a little bit up Soi 5 as well, because there's some restaurants up there. I'm just going to show you very quickly, then we'll come back down and we'll have another look around and continue the chat. Okay. Right, so question is, which I often get newbies asking me, is how do you establish a good short-term price with a girl? Okay, how do you do that? How do you establish that? Well, the first thing you do is or rather you don't do, is you do not go directly and ask them, and you do not go up to a girl and look at her and say, oh, how much? Never, never, never. It's very insulting. Never, never, never do that. Okay, you cannot assume just because they work here that they're working girls, because they may not be. You can generally tell by the way they dress. That's the first thing. I mean, like, we're just going to go and have a look at a little look around, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Okay. Now, you see what I mean? And what would you think about those two? I'm not going to say anything, okay? You make your own mind up. Right, so let's talk about it. So, as I said, you don't ever just walk up to a girl and say how much. That's not on. Okay, she'll feel insulted, and she won't like you instantly, and she'll either walk away, ignore you, or give you a super high price. Okay, so that's not what you do. If you want, obviously you want the best experience, which is equally as important as the cost. And to get the best experience, you need to establish some rapport and chemistry. Put simply, you really need to chat her up in the same time-honored fashion that people have done for years, for a while, and see if you like her and see if she likes you. Without this type of interaction, the experience will surely be cold and unfulfilling. So, if you like the look of a girl in a bar, it's simple. You just sit down and buy her a drink and talk. Now, if you like the look of the girl on the street, it's a little more complicated. What you would do, you certainly don't go and say how much. What you do is you go up and you say two Thai words, which is the simplest way to approach a girl, and you say "Bye nai." Okay. Now that's a phrase which is used all the time by Thai people, all the time. Of electric car.
Yes, we're from the Bird and Bee Resort.
Okay.
He's from Alpha.
Okay. Anyway, as I was saying, you say "Bye nai." Okay. Now that's recognised as the first half of a regular phrase, which means where are you going. But the second half of the phrase is by do I, which is we go together. And the girl will know this. Any girl who's in Pattaya will know this phrase, this by nai, by do I. If she says by do I, it means she likes the look of you and let's go together. So when you say by nai to a girl, she'll immediately know what your intentions are and she'll react accordingly. And she'll show you the way she feels from your appearance, and she'll either ignore you and walk away, or she'll show some interest and will stop and start chatting, which obviously means that she's available. So you only need to remember 2 words, by nai. You don't need to wonder what to say or use some cheesy pickup lines like you would in the West. You just say by nai. And then if she does stop and talk, don't delay. Say we go together, or by do I, which means you go together. We go have a drink. And immediately take her to the nearest bar or coffee shop or whatever to establish rapport, which can take anything from 30 minutes to a couple of hours, depending on you and how you get on. But before you start talking business, be in no doubt, by the way, this is a business arrangement, even at this early stage, or especially at this early stage, should I say. Not until rapport is established do you start talking money. Now, when you do start getting down to chatting about money, you never ask how much. Never do that. You establish the price. You tell her how much you can pay. You know, for ST, I can give you X. Is that okay? And she will either say yes or no, depending upon how she feels about things. Yeah, not only the money, but also how she feels. But the reason that you never ask how much is because there's 2 reasons. One is that it gives the girl a chance to overcharge, which many will do. So don't give her that opportunity. The second is that she may ask for more than you want to pay, in which case you'll then have to come back with a lower offer, and she'll lose face because you're implying that she's not worth that much. So don't do that. You just tell her straight out how much you can pay, and either way it'll be a yes or a no. So that depends on how good a rapport you've created, and if you've created a good enough rapport, it'll be yes. This is the bottom of Soi 5, so I'm just going to take you up Soi 5 a little way just to show you the main restaurants, which are some nice ones, Mexican pizzerias and what have you up here. I'll just show you those, then we'll turn around and come back down to the, what you could call, I suppose, a temporary outdoor food court, which is where we've just been. But you don't want to miss the second part when we come back to the food court, because there's some more new arrivals which I think you'll like the look of, if you follow what I mean. Okay, so let's just have a little look up here. There's a whole bunch of food places here. I'll look to your left there. We just passed a doner kebab. I would call that a doner kebab stall. It's like guys, looks like he's going to enjoy. And then we'll continue up here, and there's cafes and restaurants and everything like that all the way up here. Just for a short wait, just where the interesting part is. There's a mini Big C, which is very good. I've been in and bought a few things there many times. Oh, and on the left side here is like a little mini food court, really, I think you'd call it. The lady there just shouted me over before to see if I wanted to buy something, so I thought I'd have a quick look and show you. Okay. Lots of food available. One thing about Thailand is there's food everywhere. And there's also, just up here on the left, there's a really good baker. This is a really good one. It's all absolutely fresh every day, and it's really nice food. That really nice baker. I've eaten there many times, that bakery. This is a nice cafe on the left side here. She opens the door and calls me in.
Hi.
Yeah, really good. Now we're going to start chatting about the other main subject, which is the cost of retiring here. That's the next thing. So I'm just going to get into that. Now we've got a few restaurants to look at here, and I'll show you those first. So this first one's a Mexican. So those of you who like Mexican food, I haven't eaten here, but I have some friends who have, and they've all highly recommended it and said it's really good Mexican food, but I haven't eaten it here, so I can't say so. And just next to that is further up with the red sign, that's a pizzeria. And this one here, so here we are, Italian restaurant, pizzeria, and here I've eaten, and this was excellent, really excellent. Yeah, of course it's all takeaway at the moment because of the lockdown regs, but it's good. Okay, that one's good. So I'll just show you a little bit further up here, then I'll take you down back to the food court or food carts back down at the bottom, and there's some interesting new arrivals there which I think you'll enjoy looking at. Okay, that's far enough. We'll turn around and go back down to the bottom. So getting on to the second subject of this video for chat is the retirement costs. Now then, I mean, I get many, probably the most popular question is what does it cost to retire there? Well, that really is an open-ended question, isn't it? But I have a question for you first, because I assume you've been on holiday. Now the question is, when you came on holiday, what did you spend your time and money on? Was it playing golf, or was it going to go-go bars? Are you still a party animal, or are you retired in the sense of an OAP retired? Did you come to Thailand for the girls or for the warm climate? One thing that you need to understand is that there's a world of difference between coming on holiday and living here. Huge difference. I remember when I used to come here on holiday for 2 or 3 weeks at a time, and I went round the bars and the clubs every night and took a different girl long time every night, and then I would have to sleep in the afternoon to recover, and then off again the following evening. Now at the end of 3 weeks I just went home totally and completely shattered, and it took a month to recover. Now if that's what you think you'll be doing when you come to live here, be prepared for a very short life, because your body would just give up. But seriously guys, you just can't maintain that level of partying when you come to live here. It's not just that your body would feel the strain, but your finances would feel the strain as well, very much. Partying here is expensive, and you have to cut back dramatically on going out. Now some guys cut back by getting a regular girlfriend, which is obviously cheaper, because you have one girl, you're just taking care of one girl, and you can go out with her, go walks with her, what have you. You're not going out to go-go bars every night, this sort of thing. But it does come with its own expense, because a girl who would normally be working in a bar can make huge amounts of money. The 8s, 9s, 10s certainly can make huge amounts of money from working in bars and go-go's and everything. And they're not going to just take a boyfriend unless the boyfriend can match the type of money that they would have been making. Do you follow what I mean? You would be expected to make up the difference. Now, I mean, you know, Thailand has virtually no social security system or a joke of a state pension. So the girls are sort of morally obligated to take care of their families. Now, just to give you some idea, a very attractive girl can easily make 100,000 baht a month. That's 3,000 US dollars or 2,200 roughly English pounds every month by working in Pattaya. And I've got two girls that just come to mind. Both of them I would class as a 9 probably. One works in a go-go and the other works on soy honey. Now I've known them both for a few years and I've had conversations with them about why each of them doesn't have, being so attractive that is, doesn't have a full-time boyfriend. And I got the same answer from each of them. Because when they told the prospective boyfriend or potential boyfriend how much they actually would have to give up in the way of earnings, and obviously the boyfriend would have to make up the difference, the boyfriend was, or the potential boyfriend, let's put it that way, was shocked. And he backed off straight away. Absolutely couldn't afford it because they make such large amounts of money, these girls. In normal times, of course. But even now, the soy honey girls are still doing quite well, thank you very much. So if you want a girl to come live with you, you can't expect a 9 for a few thousand baht a month. You know, for a few thousand baht a month, you're going to have to considerably drop your expectations, like you're talking about going down to a 6 or something in that sort of figure, you know. Now, with regard to the normal cost of living here, for regular things, like a condo or a small house to rent, that's very cheap. I mean, just look at some of the condos in the videos I've done, and look at what you get for small money compared to what you would pay in the West. I mean, it's less than half, it's a quarter in some of the cases of what you would pay for something equivalent in the West. Now, if you or your partner can cook, then food is also very, very cheap to buy. I mean, you can go to a market or a supermarket and buy food and then cook it yourself, and just occasionally, now and then, go out for a meal to a restaurant or something. It's very cheap, very cheap. Clothes are dirt cheap here because you don't need thick clothes, you don't need fancy expensive clothes, you just need thin cheap clothes. Anything thick and you just start to sweat. You can't have anything thicker than a t-shirt most of the time here. Other things like a dentist, for example. I did a video not long ago and included my dentist in it, and also my optician. I did a video which included some new glasses, some new eyeglasses that I just had made, and the whole thing was like nothing. It was so cheap, compared half the price of what it would be in the West. So really, the only thing which is where you could class as expensive here are young, attractive girls. Now, if you're happy with a slightly older, less attractive lady, then that also can be quite cheap. I'd say that a regular, normal lifestyle, you'd be paying less than half of what it would cost you to live in a normal Western country. That's what I think, price-wise. I'll give you some figures in a minute. Now, as a rule, it's not easy to work in Thailand as a foreigner. It's not really allowed. So most retirees will have to make do with whatever cash they've saved up through their lives, their life savings, their nest egg, and whatever income they can make from abroad, bringing it into Thailand. Like if you have a house or some properties you can rent out in your own country, then do that. That's obviously a good way, a simple way, and it's a legal way. And the money comes into Thailand on a regular basis. But how much money do you need to transfer? Well, the first piece of advice I would give you is never buy a property in Thailand. Always rent it. Doesn't matter how long you're going to stay. That's my opinion. People might disagree, but my opinion is you do not buy, because the prices could fluctuate, can drop down. There are people. Let me tell you about my friend, my Australian friend. Okay, he bought a condo for 3.5 million, and how long? 2 years later, it's worth 2.5 million. And another guy who bought a condo in order to rent it 3 years ago in Pattaya, before COVID, he has never managed to rent it. Even pre-COVID, he couldn't rent it. It was about three or 4 years ago, I can't remember when he bought it, but he never succeeded in renting it. And you don't want to transfer large amounts of money into Thailand just for security. In my opinion, your money's safer in a bank in a good Western country, just in case. You don't know what's going to happen. You never can be sure. So don't transfer large amounts of money. Live off the money you can bring bit by bit by bit. Don't go transferring everything here. Don't do that. That's just my opinion. Could be wrong, but that's what I think. So how much money do you need to live here? Well, Thai immigration suggests that you should have 65,000 Thai baht a month income, which is 2,000 US dollars or 1,400 UK pounds. Now, I think you probably don't really need that much. In my opinion, you could manage quite easily on 50,000 baht, but 65,000 would certainly give you a decent lifestyle. Something else that you need to be aware of is the price of cars here and SUVs. The second-hand price of cars is unbelievably high. Depreciation is very slow. I was absolutely shocked to see like a 5-year-old tatty car bringing prices that you'd pay for an immaculate car at home for one that's now 2 years old in the West. I think it's because of the crazy high import tax on new cars here. So that's not a good thing. Now, another thing that you need to know, which is probably why you watch my condo videos, is where to live in Pattaya. Now, the most expensive and the least quiet area is in central Pattaya, which is where all the tourists stay, and it's full of all the temptations to spend your money. The next area is, say, North Pattaya, around about Wangamat, which I've shown you many videos on Wangamat. It's a beautiful area, and it's quiet. It's still fairly expensive. And then you've got Pratamnak, which is here, which is lovely and quiet and not expensive. Then you've got Jom Tien, which is quiet and lovely and not expensive again. And lastly, you have the dark side, or East Pattaya, which is cheap. Now, a piece of very good news is that the Thai baht is falling in value. Probably because of COVID, but it's suffering so badly economically that it's finally reached a stage where it's properly falling. I mean, it's gone from 38, as far as English pounds is concerned, 38 or in fact 29 US dollars to what is about 33 US dollars now, 34, and pound wise, it's sort of pushing 46, which is great. Really very good for people who have money coming from abroad. You know, if you have money coming from the US here, or from Europe here, it's really great. Anyway, please, if you like the video, please subscribe and like and share and ring the bell. And thank you very much for watching. And I shall see you on the next video. And take care. Stay safe.